Okay, I have a question. Why is Genshin Impact so popular? To me, it's simple. It's a good game. But if that's the only reason, does that inherently mean that all unpopular games are bad? No, not all popular things are good and not all good things are popular. So it's not that specific. So if that's the case, then what makes Genshin Impact so different? This is a question that fascinated me for a while because I'm a student of communications research. One class I had to take was in the subject of audience research. Audience research was crucial in understanding how a mass of people dictate what kind of media they consume, and every company needs a masterful team behind their public relations or everything falls apart. So today I want to delve deeper into some reasons that Genshin Impact is popular not only from a developmental standpoint, but also from a player and consumer perspective. But before I begin, I want to say that this video isn't anything objective, just some personal observations about factors that contributed to Genshin's popularity. This is just my own personal musing. And if you guys have your own answers to this question, please leave it down below because I would love to read them. So, hope you enjoy. Number 1 is that the game is free but has the production value of a paid game. I don't think it's a lie to say that Genshin Impact's production quality is amazing. No matter how much we despise the artifact system, the quality of Genshin Impact as a game should not be ignored. And in my opinion, Genshin Impact's biggest appeal is how free such a high production quality is. One of the biggest factors that contribute to a game's popularity will always be its price. I think internet historian expressed the notion the best when he was talking about No Man's Sky. If a game has the price tag of a AAA game, the standards for that game increase because there is now a numerical value attached to its worth. The higher that number, the more expectations are put on that by the consumers, because you want to make your money's worth and you want to make sure you don't feel scammed. I don't think this is anything rocket science, because if I heard that something was free, I would immediately think, what's the worst that can happen? But I want to convey why the price tag of it being free is important to the game's popularity. Genshin Impact being a free game gives it two benefits from the get-go. First is that it lowers the barrier of entry for players, since new players don't have to worry about a massive price tag attached to it. But second is that it lowers the expectations being put on the game itself. Because Genshin Impact was marketed as a free role-playing game instead of a AAA experience that is locked behind a large paywall, the audience's expectations of the game are much more forgiving. People are more willing to try out the game for free and see if it's good or bad because they won't feel like they got scammed. And not to mention, people are more forgiving about the game's mishaps. Have you ever seen before where criticism was given to the game and there were comments that go, "Oh, but this game is free so you shouldn't be contemplating about it all that much"? While that is a bad way to look at feedback, there is some kind of merit to that kind of statement. Now, just because a game is free doesn't mean it's a good or bad game. There are a lot of free games whose experience isn't barred by a paywall, and luckily Genshin Impact is like that. The lack of a paywall and all the content being available for a player along with amazing production value and visuals, the price tag of this game being completely free is often thrown around as positive criticism. It adds more appeal to the game when advertised. I know some people are going to say that the game's gacha system is paid, and to that I say it doesn't contribute anything against this point. Genshin's experiences, character stories, events, maps, music, and even the gacha system itself is accessible for free to play. The Genesis Crystals should instead be considered as microtransactions instead of an obligated action for the player. So it's easy to say that Genshin Impact definitely exceeded the standards of what a quote-unquote free game is, even with the microtransactions that are attached to it. Now, the next one that I think a lot of people take for granted, myself included, is definitely the rapid amount of updates that we get. I know that Genshin is not a complete game, and in my opinion, that is definitely true, but DLCs take time to be created, and definitely not at the 40-day deadline that Genshin Impact always has for itself. The fact that it's always updating, something new is always happening technically, it gives the game more publicity because there are going to be more advertising material, there will be more content for content creators to cover, and there will be continuous interest in the game given that there is technically new content to talk about. I honestly just took it for granted how fast this game really produces its content, and to that, I just want to say, damn Genshin, like, dude, Inazuma, with the constant amount of islands ever since like 2.0 dropped, damn. And it's so amazing that every patch now and then would just be constantly filled with content. And yeah, it's short-lived content, but Genshin was never meant to be a main game, so, you know, it is what it is. It's the kind of genre that it appealed to. And now another hot take. I think that the time that Genshin Impact was released was very crucial to its popularity. I am a firm believer that marketing is very important to showcase a media and expose it to a general audience, but there is a moment that you need to respect when you're advertising and you're releasing a content when it's most appropriate. And I think Genshin Impact definitely had the best opportunity to release it during a time of the pandemic. And there weren't actually a lot of AAA games that were released during that time. So Genshin Impact being this free, open world experience with a lot of amazing characters and the appeal of an anime game just definitely felt like the right experience that everyone needed at the time because everyone was just locked into their own rooms. So in my opinion, I think that the timing of Genshin Impact was just so opportunistically good that it just made the game skyrocket in terms of appeal because everyone was just kind of needing that feeling again of exploring something. And now the last point that I think I want to make about Genshin's popularity is definitely the portability of it all. Like the mere fact that you can have this amazing game on your mobile and your PC and your PS4, not your Nintendo Switch, have to pay respect. It's just something that I think is really cool. Obviously, it's not really cool for the phones that are very hot, but the portability of Genshin Impact definitely allowed it to become more widespread. Not to mention that I think that the dubbing for it, the English dubbing for it, is absolutely great. English is such an international language, and the fact that it was marketed to be globally accessible is, I think, one of the best ways to contribute to a piece of content's reachability. But yes, that's all my personal takes on why Genshin Impact is popular, but in my opinion, this video is incomplete. I want to hear your opinions down in the comments below as to why do you think Genshin Impact is so popular. Now, this could be fame or infamy. I just want to know what do you think are the reasons that this game is as big as it is right now, because again, as a college student, I am super duper interested in this topic. But anyway, my name is Aster and I'm just going to be waiting for my Conria video to render. Bye-bye.